Welcome to a new Sarah Fraser Show podcast. It's feisty, and we have a lot to cover. First of all, the AMAs were last night. Dan, do you even know what the AMAs are, Schman?
Quite an introduction. Thanks for having me back on the show. It's been like a year. American Movie Awards?
No, American Music. Well, you were close. American Music Awards. I can't even believe they're still doing this, but there were some horrendous outfits last night we have to talk about.
You and me, or you just in general?
Kick you out for that. Me in general. I have to talk about Brigitte Macron and President Macron. Isn't it so good? Did you watch the video? What is going on? Now, they deny that there's any trouble in paradise. I'm sorry. How many times have I pushed you in the face with glasses on? Like, I tried to reenact it and you were grimacing. You were like, get away from me.
Word for word. That was hot stuff right there. We're on camera too. I better sit up. Last time I was on, I got I don't have ergonomic. I'm not sitting in an ergonomic chair, so I end up either sitting up and I'm out of camera. This whole studio needs to.
Gonna get a new one here in the next couple of months, okay? Pump the brakes, and that's why you're on, because we're trying to buy a house.
Maybe we're gonna get one. No, that's we'll get it. Do you want me to talk about Macron right now?
No, I want you to talk about our house. Okay, our house situation. So we are back in the house hunting market for people that want to refresh. We live in Los Angeles. Mistake number one.
Keep going. I'm not arguing.
I love California though. But we were in escrow on a home in February. It was a really bad time. We were pregnant. Then we had a miscarriage about 3 weeks later. My favorite uncle, George, passed away. I'm one of the executors of his will. It's a nightmare. Thankfully, he has a will, but it is a nightmare. And we get into escrow on a flip. And we make the mistake of getting a loan through Navy Fed, and Navy Fed for 2 months said, oh, yeah, don't worry, you're going to qualify for this amount. Yeah. We went into underwriting, and within 15 minutes, they wrote us back via email, never bothered to call, and said, sorry, we're not going to be able to help you purchase your first home. In fact, you only qualify for half of that amount of money. So we were like, you have to be kidding us. Like, you strung us along for 2 months. You let us go into escrow. This is embarrassing. We've never heard a lick from the realtor that we had, which I guess turned out to be fine. But she never even called to say, hey, you guys doing okay after you were loan rejected? She doesn't even want to say.
I'm pretty sure we're dead to her. You know, we sent her a nice bouquet of flowers for all the work she did. But I'm pretty sure when that contract ran up, she's like, deuces.
Yes,
good luck.
So much work. She didn't get a commission. That was brutal. It was so embarrassing. It was awful. And basically, thanks to all of my amazing listeners and good friends, people were like, do not go through a bank when you guys are not traditional W-2s. We didn't know that. We're new home buyers. They're like, you own your own business? Absolutely not. Because banks, even my business has been around 9 years. It's like, well, next year it might not exist, so they don't want to give you a loan. We are now loan approved. Thanks to you guys. You guys gave us some recommendations. We shopped around this time, got loan approved. Back on the market this past weekend, we go and make an offer on a house in the Valley, and now I'm having second thoughts. So first of all, we find this house. Perfect scenario, except for it hasn't been updated in 30
years. Go ahead and describe the perfect scenario and then all the buts.
Nothing. Fabulous neighborhood, fabulous school system, perfect location. Problem was the woman that owned that died there. Don't think that's a big deal. I think that's actually good karma. She loved the house so much she wanted to die there, we think.
It was not haunted. I did not feel any vibe.
No, but it hadn't been updated literally since 1979, 80.
There was something that haunted.
What?
There was an old lady smell. There was an old lady smell that permeated throughout the house.
It was like super potent. Like, she sprayed that Chanel No. 5. She must have rolled around on the carpets with it.
It stung my nostrils.
That's actually a terrible joke, because when you get older, who knows? She might have broken a hip, lied there for 3 days with that Chanel No. 5 on.
I don't. What are we talking about here again?
Never mind. All right, fine. Obviously, I'm out of practice with my stand-up. So we make an offer. Our realtor comes back. This seems to be like the
Well, let's let's set the scene. The
Set the scene, babe.
house was overpriced for great location, great schools, quiet neighborhood, but the house had not been updated in probably, I'm going to say 50 years. So,
Yeah, that's true.
so the house now you could look at it and say it's a blank, it's a palette or a blank canvas, so to speak, to make it our own, but it would have required a significant amount of money to do so.
Okay, so we put an offer in. The selling agent came back and said we were by far the lowest. By the way, we're obsessed with our new realtor so far.
5 stars.
Five stars. We love her. We'll talk more about her later on. Um, so then we said we're out, right? We kind of talked it over here and we said we're out. But now I'm having second thoughts. Like maybe we should come up 100 grand more and see if they'll entertain it. Because they basically said to us, the selling agent said, would they be willing to come up?
And the answer is no.
Why?
Because it's going to require a whole lot of money to upgrade this house to get into the 21st century in which we reside in.
I know, but we could live there for a year as is in the 60s and document that on TikTok and then have our baby.
Are you going to be a trad wife and at that point?
No, nothing seems worse to me. If you said to me, I'd like you to be a trad wife, that seems like hell on earth. I hate cooking. I already told you when we're rich, I'm not even boiling a pot of water.
So 1960s are out, apparently.
You will know when I am rich, rich. I won't even boil a pot. Mowing the lawn, weed whacking, gardening, and cooking are the most overrated. Laundry, I don't mind. I could still do laundry. I am working to be wealthy, so I don't want to turn on a stove.
Well, overpaying for a house isn't going to help you get to where you want to be. That's the reality.
Yeah, but really, no, I'm walk me through this. I'm seriously having second thoughts though. I think this house is beautiful. It could be our forever home. We could work on it over time. Like, should we call our agent and just say 100 grand more?
No, it's simple as that. It's not worth it. There'll be other houses. I'm not saying you specifically, but I'm saying we jumped into that other house way too fast.
No, when we went looking this weekend, I actually had regret. I was like, I think we were just so novice and we didn't have a good realtor.
No, the house was we overbid on a house that had sewer issues, furnace issues, permit issues. So we will find a home. You can't throw a stone without finding a home for sale in Southern California. It's just, is it going to be the home that we can afford? It's going to be part of it. Uh,
But they always say people are leaving the state not fast enough.
is that a question? I don't know where we're going with this. Your interview skills need to be brushed up. Um,
I actually was thinking that too. Do you think I'm a strong interviewer?
Well, considering we're not really on topic here, we're bouncing all over, and we need to get you some Adderall. The uh, I don't think we should. I don't think we should up our offer. I think the ship has sailed. It wasn't meant to be. Someone else can bask in the old lady smell for a while, and we will find a home in a neighborhood to call our own.
That one was pretty darn perfect. It was quaint. It was quiet. KJ could have like ridden his bike down the street. By the way, do you want to check on KJ? Do we think he's
He's,
fine? Okay.
he's fine.
All right. I'll sleep on it, I guess. And by that time, I'm sure it'll be sold. So there's your answer. But I haven't found anything else that I like better. Have you?
No, but we looked at 3 homes. We looked at 3 homes yesterday. It's good to walk around. What I love about our realtor is she will tell us
She's awesome.
all the bad things about the homes and steer us clear from trying to purchase a home that, like, I like the one that was on a slope, and she's like, absolutely not. So no, we'll find our home. We'll find our home. Anyone who's interested in selling to a nice family like us in Southern California,
Do you think I should go door to door? Like, should I just pick some homes that I like in neighborhoods that I like and just knock on the door and. Hi, are you interested in selling? Here's a letter that my husband wrote. Because what the fuck?
you're all over the place. No, I don't think you should be knocking on doors. We'll find homes. And
I'm flustered because I'm keep thinking about like, well, if we, but I think it's a losing game because I think if we up, I'm really thrown tonight. I can't focus because I think should we offer 100 grand more? And then the letter, what I was throwing down was I was going to talk to you about two last things, Macron and people write letters. Families write letters. You can't show a picture of yourself because everyone's biased, basically. So you can't send a photo, but you can write a letter to the seller if you feel so compelled about the house. And you drafted the most beautiful letter about our family and that home. And that kind of made me too like, then I really saw us in that house.
thank you for the compliment. It was a lovely letter that I whipped together, but I got news for you. I can just update the address and use it for the next home and make someone else come to tears. So there you have it. Done.
Oh my God. Let me just read a paragraph. I was fortunate. This is from Dan, right? So he's writing it at himself. One of the paragraphs says, I was fortunate to have grown up in the same house through childhood. When we traveled to Michigan to visit his Nana, KJ sleeps in my childhood bedroom. My neighbors were my best friends, and I walked or biked to school each day. My father was the volunteer president of the local soccer league. My mom volunteered at the church. Sarah grew up in a small, close knit community in Maine where her parents owned and operated the local store. In both of our towns, people were invested in their communities and schools. Neighborhood kids would knock on your door to ask to come out to play. For us, community is vital. We want this same experience for our growing family, which is harder to do in the large metropolitan area like LA and the times we live in. We see the opportunities in your home to build from the love and care we feel in its foundation and continue it with ours. What? Oh my God, who knew you were Robert Frost? Oh,
I do some writing here and there. So don't give away everything because then when we submit this, to the people who are listening along, they're going to be like, "Oh, it's a template letter Schman wrote." They send it to all the owners.
it's a page and a half. I won't go into the rest. It was so nice. See, then I see ourselves there, like with our next baby. Is KJ okay?
He's fine. He's playing cars and watching his tablet. I think everything's going to be okay. We will find a home that we like. It's okay. You'll wake up tomorrow and mark my words. You'll be like, "Yeah, I'm over that house." So there you go. Want to talk about Macron?
Okay,
Want me to
let's move
smush
on.
your face?
What did you think of that video? So everyone I think has saw it. It was kind of a very quiet Memorial Day, I will say. Not a lot going on, even with sister wives in the sister wives world. Usually on Mondays, like a bunch of sister wives tea drops.
Mhm.
Nobody's really working. So it's very quiet. So I feel like the Macron video has dominated social media and has been trending now for a hot second. And for people that haven't seen this, immediately go to your phones and bring up Macron. So he and Brigitte are getting ready to get off a plane. And his security team or the flight people have opened the doors. When the president stands there and then walks down the big, elegant stairs. As they're opening the door, you see her open palm shoving his face back and he looks back. It's the most, and of course these politicians, most of them, it's just so they can't be normal. So, and then all of a sudden he sees the cameras there and he's like smiling and like trying to like do a little happy dance. And then they walk down the stairs together, not holding hands. Now, they've immediately come out. He's come out personally. Their team has come out and said, oh, stop it. The media makes huge mountains out of molehills. I guess a couple of weeks ago, he was at a Ukrainian event. There was a little baggie there. He picked it up. People thought he was doing cocaine. He referenced that like that was a bunch of BS. And they were joking and having a moment. What did you make of that video?
Um, Emmanuel, run, run. Comment dit-on run? I forget how to say run in French. But anyways, he should run. They're in an abusive relationship. Isn't she like 20 years older than him or?
It's like 25. Yes.
Yeah, run, run.
You think he's really in an abusive relationship? You think she's what? She like the French love to drink. How's that for a stereotype? So, do you think she'd had a few and they just get into it?
Probably, if we're gonna go with some stereotypes, she had a couple glasses of Pinot and
Well, if you've been to France, which you have, I have, a lot of people seem to be drinking often. Just an observation.
Okay, these questions again. This, you know what? You never know. Context is can often be misleading, but run, Emmanuel, run, flee.
Have you and I ever played around ever like that? Like that you okay, you cannot try to
Like that? Oh.
what movie? Oh, we were watching It Ends With Us, and you were like, can you imagine me just punching you in the face? I'm like, no, I can't.
No, it's who knows?
Unfortunately, it happens,
Yeah.
but no, I cannot.
No, we shouldn't be making fun of abuse, but you know what? Well, they have love. Maybe smushing one's face is their love language.
Do you believe him for 1 second that that was just playful?
Uh,
Hey,
I don't believe it was just playful, but
come in here.
uh-oh, it's a family affair.
Come on
Want
up.
to
You
watch
want to train?
Trains? Do you want to
Here,
come over and say hi?
come say hi to the podcast.
Oh, well, we're gonna watch
In this
Trains.
microphone.
How she was strange.
Okay.
Okay, well, we'll go. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining, honey. Thank you.
When am I going to be invited back on full on? Not these cameos, you know?
You'll come back full on. All right, guys, close the podcast studio doors. Thank you. There you have it. How many houses did you bid on before you got yours? I want to hear from you. At the Sarah Fraser Show everywhere on Twitter. No, it's actually Sarah Fraser Show on Twitter. I don't even tweet really. Okay, at the Sarah Fraser Show on IG and TikTok. Let's do two more stories. The American Music Awards were last night and everyone was horribly dressed. I can't think of one person who was beautifully dressed there. They were, it was horrendous. Actually, the person I thought who got one of the worst dressed, who I thought looked interesting, was Heidi Montag. But people are describing her wig as one of the cheapest things they've ever seen. She's being described as 2025 American Music Awards worst dress in a blue sparkly top and matching pants. Rebecca Black, remember her? It's Friday, Friday. Horrible. I don't know. Looks like Bride of Chucky in a sailor suit. Jordan Childs, the amazing gymnast. I don't even know who her stylist is. It's atrocious, darling. They've allowed her to wear this white dress, and you gotta have a look. I don't have any boobs, okay, so I can say this about sweet Jordan. She has no tatas, and they've allowed her to wear a dress that requires tatas, and it has like some stitching up the front that like if you had a big set of boobies, it would be like held up and look corset like. It is unfortunate beyond belief. The other person is Kalani, who it's so bad. The tats are horrendous. Ah, horrendous. I don't even know. It's so bad. I can we give 0 stars if there's not even a grading? Shabuzi also arrived in a plaid chaps and matching jacket. I just like Shabuzi. So I thought Shabuzi looked great. I really did. Let's see. Who else? Rapper Sexy Red. Sexy Red. Doesn't look great. Doesn't look great. It's not good. It's really not good. And also the tattoos are so bad. Can anybody do like a tasteful couple of tats anymore? I can't think of really one person. Nikki Glazer looks good, but Nikki sort of looks like her usual same self, to be honest. This is probably one of the worst dressed awards of all time. Now, I feel like the AMAs has become a little campy, and I think ways that they get people to tune in is they probably tell everybody, like, hey, can you look horrible? So people will talk about us. I think that's their strategy. And now, if you would look terrible, we will get people to tune in. Lastly, let's go to my YouTube lines. So, of course, Sunday night, part 1 of the one-on-ones. Thank you all for reminding me at the start of the one-on-ones for Sister Wives. There's 4 parts. The one-on-ones are essentially the tell-alls. They're the reunions. They had a chyron at the front that announced that the family had asked that the one-on-ones not cover Garrison. I think I wasn't paying it close enough attention. I am shocked. That to me is such... I'm sorry. Who is running the show on Sister Wives? Who is running the show? I will say this. I think this season of all the seasons that production really listened to us. Like they listened to the fans, right? They quickly tried to get the show back up to speed in current time. They knew people were over this whole COVID crap where they were just showing flashbacks and they really didn't film in the families' homes. So I think they tried like heck to like get it up to speed. I think they played more with Cody, like kind of making fun of him, playing recaps of how ridiculous he sounded. They did a fabulous job with Garrison. They knew fans wanted to remember, have a tribute to Garrison. They did that in a 3-part. But this is wild to me. I said it in my recap yesterday. You can go and listen. How was it not even acknowledged? Like, hey, how are you guys doing? These individuals, this is what drives me bonkers about reality television people. If you don't want to be on reality TV, you have a choice. This is not even a corporate job where you need it and like you have to do it. All these individuals have other businesses. Everybody on almost every reality show now, unless they're super independently wealthy. I don't know how TLC allowed not even a mention. I thought it was so strange when we got into those one-on-ones and there was no acknowledgement of how hard was this season for you. Thank you for sharing it. I'm upset about that. I understand this is the most tragic thing to ever happen to this family, and may no other person take their life ever again. Unfortunately, suicide has touched my family. May it never touch anyone else's. But this is a choice that they have all made. And to not even mention it at the one-on-ones, this pissed me off. And I was actually really liking these one-on-ones because I thought Suki has come the best and the hardest she ever has come. But let me go to my YouTube lines, which is where you guys have comments on the one-on-ones and you leave me a lot of feedback. So here's what you had to say about Sunday night's episode. So Kelly, I want to shout out Kelly J says, I just said yesterday that Cody would not be disrespectful to the person interviewing him if the host was a man. While I like Suki, I do agree that a man would bring a whole different perspective. I do too. Even Kevin Fraser from Entertainment Tonight would be so good. I'm Greg's girl says, I was a little disappointed with the one-on-one episode on Monday night. Seems like we've seen all this before in the tell-all. The divorces, Cody rages, Robin lies, rinse and repeat. I will say, however, it was nice to see Janelle and Mary speak their truth. Best line of the night, Janelle, I just don't like them. Then Megan Potter writes, TLC needs to put in the contracts that they have to answer these questions or they don't get paid. They're employees and this is their job. I agree. Danny L. No, I did say the one thing that I've seen the most from you guys about Sister Wives is the feedback about Suki this season seems to be very positive. Danny L. says, I am Team Suki as well. It's production not letting her ask Cody any tough questions because they still think he's the king of the show and they don't want to upset him. This reunion production seems to have cottoned on to the fact that the female fans love watching a narcissist used back on because they seem to have given Suki the go-ahead. Then somebody else writes, until Robin shows up and ruins everything, that these one-on-ones are actually pretty good. I didn't think Robin ruined anything last night because I truly didn't think Robin answered any questions. Robin answers nothing. I'm with you. I think it was Danny who said, like, these guys are getting paid. Make them answer questions. I'm with you. Robin provided nothing last night. And then I had suggested that David Woolley actually host the one-on-ones. And Mimi NK says David would never bond with Cody. David has class and a warm heart. Cody is an abuser. Sarah, why do you try to shove Cody in our faces? I just can't listen to you and your love of Cody Brown. David would never let his daughter have major surgery without him. Cody stayed home with Robin when Isabel had her surgery and left his son. Gabriel, to cry alone in a crib the day that Garrison passed. To cry alone in a crib. Oh, sorry, on a curb. Thank you. Well, I'm not shoving Cody in your face. I do think at times that Cody has moments where I'm like, oh, he seems through all of that jarble and, narcissism that he does make sense. I thought he actually had real emotion in the 3-part series about Garrison. I really did. Sharon Leah says there is a fourth wall question or point I wish TLC would ask Cody. If he could have kept the show going, paycheck, would he have told all the wives years ago that he was done with their marriage? I love this question. I think this is the crux of why there was all this weird avoidance of everyone, but he didn't ever want it known. Ooh. Did Cody Brown keep it all going and drag those women along for ages to keep that television show going? Boy, if he did, that dude has long-term patience. I mean, right? The long game? I mean, he met Robin 15, 16 years ago. Did he play the long game and keep the TV show? Thank you. I love your recap, Sarah. That's from D. Queenie. Thank you so much. And everybody is reminding me that there was a disclaimer at the beginning of the show that they would not discuss Garrison. Well, I have an issue with that. I have a major, major issue with that. Forgive me, I should have brought that up at the beginning, but I'm not pleased about that at all. And some of you do feel like last night's episode was a bomb, a repeat of the past 2 seasons. So I love all your comments. Keep them coming on my YouTube. Oh my God. There's hundreds. So good. All right. Full slate of shows this week. Tomorrow on the podcast, Maxim Tchaikovsky from Dancing with the Stars joins the show. Maxim is amazing. He has a lot to say about Gleb and Brooks Nader, their breakup, and deciding to be public with their Dancing with the Stars romance. He also talks about Cheryl Burke, his former dance partner, not really dance partner, but they co-workers on Dancing with the Stars. Her podcast ended shortly after they had some drama. So was he part of that? And then he just is so open about his new vodka line, why he wanted to launch it, and why he hopes that you buy it, and you all should. I love Maxim. He is here tomorrow. Thursday and Saturday, David Yontif from Behind the Velvet Rope joins with the latest Bravo Tea. Friday, Kate Casey, the top incredible podcaster, Kate Casey, joins the podcast. She's here and really opens up about all her childhood trauma, bonding with her audience, and how she has managed to keep a top podcast for 9 years, our girl. All that. And then Sunday, we usually play one of our most popular podcast episodes. So be tuning into that. Okay. Bye, everybody. Love ya.